Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our BWA memorial service for this year. I'd like to welcome everyone here and there to be able to join us for the service today. Our service chairperson today is Wigwag. Wigwag is a long-time family member, and he used to keep company with Quicker, who shared her life with us for a long time, and especially at nighttime they would lay down in the bed together. So Wigwag has been there for quite a few years. He's a green and blue beagle, as you can see. He's wearing his mask, so reminding us again to be very cautious, particularly of the pandemic, to wear our masks, protect ourselves and protect others. But also it's getting smoky again outside, so all the more reason to have a mask on to protect our lungs. And you can see he has his onenju on and he's ready for service. So today, not only is it our BWA memorial, we also acknowledge the efforts of Eshinni, Kakushinni, Lady Takeko Kujo, and Lady Ohtani. And so each of these women in the history of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism are included with our BWA memorial here in Alameda. So this year particularly, I'd like to mention 3 names of people we have lost in the past year. This is Rose Toshiko Imazumi. She passed away September 2019, but her service was very, very close to this service last year. And so we may have mentioned her last year, but certainly we can mention her again today. Also, Grace Hichiko Shimono passed away in December of 2019. And then Toshiko, Toshi Hasegawa, passed away this past April, and she was our first video funeral. So we do want to mention them and acknowledge these are names that we visited when we had our Keiro visitations and things, and particularly these 3. I remember a time when I was shown going to do visitations and taken with by Joyce Maniwa to go to some of these homes, and she was showing me the people that we visit on this side of the bay. And through that, going to the Imazumi house, I had gone to high school with her son Stephen, and so I'm telling stories about high school days. And then Grace and Toshi were part of the Eden Community Center, and I had some time over there. My mother taught flower there. I was part of the athletic association, and so did their mochitsuki and bazaar and things like that. And so there were connections with the Eden Community Center as well. So through that, I felt like I had some connection to our community that we share here with the Alameda Sangha, and so it made me feel much more comfortable early on while I was starting here in Alameda. Joyce was saying, gee, you know these people better than I do. And so there was kind of a warm sense that we could share that together in the car. So nice to be able to acknowledge them. As far as the service order, we'll be reading the 3 treasures and the RaiSonMon. This will be followed by the SanBuJo and the chanting of the JuSeiGei. Nembutsu and Ekoku will complete the chanting portion of the service. So we'll begin today with the 3 treasures. Please join me at home. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the 3 treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we're able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teachings. RaiSonMon. Ninjin ukegatashi imasudeni uku. Buppo kikigatashi imasudeni kiku. Konomi konjo ni mukatte tosezumba. Sarani izure no sho ni mukatte kakonomi o dosen. Daishu modo tomo ni shishin ni sambo ni kieshi tatematsuru beshi. Mizukara butsu ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Daido taige shite ujoi o okosan. Mizukara ho ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Fukaku kyouzo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran. Mizukara so ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masani negawakuba shujo to tomo ni. Daishu o tori shite issai muge naran. Mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa 100,000万号にも愛をことかたし、我今見聞地従事することを得たり、願わくば如来の真実義を消し立てまつらに。ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナマンダ、ナマンダ、ナマンダ、ナマンダ。RaiSonMon and JuSeiGei. 職人少年上映修門業シグム浄土一生天人師人力縁大公不祥無才道少女三苦名交際集約難回避知恵源滅死根門永息小悪道通達全宗門高僧上満足異様実法日願修十期天候普賢一種解放像公正独法上大集中説法四宿供養一切仏具足修徳本元年出上満徳一三概要如仏無下地自然未不詳願学営力投資最小損志願薬効果大聖の感動国書天人東鎮妙慶Good morning once again, everyone. It's always a special service to have our BWA memorial. I was looking back to see what I might have said at our past BWA memorials, and I could find no notes because we always invite someone. And so this is my first opportunity to be able to speak at the BWA memorial here in Alameda. It's always a special service, and we bring out the special BWA uchishiki and adorn our altar area with the special uchishiki. It's just gorgeous, beautiful to be able to put that out once a year. And as I mentioned, we have opportunity to not only acknowledge those that we have lost here, but Eshinni, Kakushinni, Lady Kujo, Lady Ohtani. And today I would like to focus a bit on Lady Takeko Kujo. So please listen as I read one of her poems. Splendor of an evening sky, who can even fathom its timeless mystery? Million eyes when sparkling bright in the sable sky touch my heart, my lonely heart, with serenity. More than all the countless sands the Ganges River holds are the infinite Buddhas who fill this universe, ever watchful over us throughout day and night. Hearing this, my lonely heart fills with lasting peace. So, Lady Kujo is an accomplished writer of poetry, and she has a couple books that we've been able to have translated, and she studied under a very famous poet in Japan as she was growing up. So she was born in 1887 and passed away in 1928, maybe a little bit before even some of our elder members here. And when she went to school, she first started school, and even though she was born of nobility, she went to school with people of all different classes of people. And it is said that she wore very simple cotton kimono, so she would not stand out as someone of royalty, nobility, and she was able to get along and make friends and spending time with people, you know, whether rich or poor, and maybe this was kind of the seeds of her concern for all people later on when she was into her social work. Later on, after the first few years, she was tutored on the temple grounds and learned things of culture like tea ceremony, playing the koto, learning about Buddhism and languages. French, she learned how to speak French. So at an early age, her and her sister are known to have founded the Buddhist Women's Association. And this was really special at that time because during those times, women were really not known to step out into general society to initiate something and take leadership positions. So in this sense, she was very much a pioneer and ahead of her time. This was 1904. She was 18 years old. It's hard to comprehend. She was just 18 in starting our Buddhist Women's Association. A few years later, in 1920, she founded the Kyoto Women's College. So again, in these leadership roles, initiating and working for the betterment and opportunities for not only for herself, but for all women throughout Japan. A few years later, they had the great Tokyo earthquake, and so she was on the front lines helping people who were severely injured and taking care of people youngsters who had become orphaned during this earthquake. So this was part of her social welfare work and her concern, always her concern for people around her. And later and through this, she started the Asoka Hospital in Tokyo, still an active hospital today. And Asoka means without sorrow. So certainly not meaning without pain or care. Without sorrow, to me, kind of a deeper sense to do these acts of compassion and empathy for all people, and not just feeling sorrow, but doing what needs to be done without hesitancy to continue on and, in a sense, becoming compassionate rather than trying to be compassionate. Truly, truly, from the depth of her being, becoming compassion. So she had passed away in February, and so at many of our temples, there's a service called the Kisaragi-ki, and so this is an opportunity. Sometimes we don't know which special service as that. But this is a memorial service for Lady Takeko Kujo, and we here in Alameda and at a number of other temples, we combine these special ladies who have contributed to our tradition and have them join the BWA Memorial and honor them with some of these other significant ladies of our tradition. So it's always a special thing to remember Lady Kujo, and it's hard to fathom that she was at such a young age, and so makes it all the more magnified, what she was able to accomplish when she was a teenager, when she was a child, when she was working for the earthquake efforts and such. Just incredible, and this is why we have an honored position for her in our tradition. So I would like to close this again by reading her poem one more time. Please listen carefully. Splendor of an evening sky, who can even fathom its timeless mystery? Million eyes, when sparkling bright in the sable sky, touch my heart, my lonely heart, with serenity. More than all the countless sands the Ganges River holds are the infinite Buddhas who fill this universe, ever watchful over us throughout day and night. Hearing this, my lonely heart fills with lasting peace. Again, a special poem. I'd like to thank you all for being here. Please come up and offer incense here at your homes, as however you have set up to do, and we'll conclude this service with Gassho. Please join me with your hands together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Thank you for being here.